When I was in the third grade, I got angry with a teacher who yelled at me for running in the hallway. The teacher's name was Mr. Fox. In retaliation, I wrote him an anonymous, nasty letter. In that letter, I wrote that he should be called Mr. Skunk instead of Mr. Fox. The very next day, I was called into the principal's office. She told me she compared many of my previous homework papers with this nasty note, and she knew I was the author. That's when I learned you don't have to be a Sherlock Holmes to solve crimes. It's all elementary. When I look at the Guthrie ransom note, I notice that Porch Guy writes 5 p.m. 3 times. It's not really necessary to do it once, much less 3 times. The fact is, in the real world, not Hollywood or television, no one has written a ransom note referring to a specific time since the mid-1970s. But even in the whole history of ransom notes, no one has ever written 5 p.m. with a capital P and a capital M with no periods. No one has ever picked the number 5 as a time designation. I don't think it's ever been done in old gangster movies. You would have to search ransom notes all the way back to 1976 to find one where the author wrote 5, capital P, capital M, with no periods, and he wrote it several times. Of course, I'm referring to the ransom notes written by Frederick Woods, who kidnapped 26 children. Another interesting similarity between Porch Guy's ransom notes and the ones that Woods wrote is that both religiously prefer not to use contractions. A number of my viewers have insisted that Woods, at 75, couldn't possibly be the obviously young Porch Guy. I suggest the only reason someone wears a disguise is to fool people. So shouldn't you ask yourself, is the Porch Guy a young man trying to convince me he is an old guy, or is he an old guy trying to convince you he is young? I've explained how you can view before Nancy's death and after Nancy's death satellite photos of Fred Woods' fortified yard in Nipomo, California. Who puts barbed wire around their house? I've explained how he fits every physical description of Porch Guy. I have pointed out how the California authorities and the Chowchilla victims strongly believe that Fred Woods, at 75, is still capable of committing another kidnapping. I have placed him in a house in Victorville, California, just a 6-hour drive to Nancy's house. I have pointed out that he purposely retained his specially modified white van, the one he used to kidnap and torture the 26 children. I noted the fact that he was released from parole, free to travel from California to Arizona just 6 months prior to Nancy's kidnapping. And now I present you with proof of authorship on the Porch Guy's ransom notes. This should be the final nail in the coffin. You should now conclude the coffin is in Nipomo, California.